Okay, this is Calamy. It's April 3rd, and we're talking about what it's going to take to get a good Molten Core run going. I'm expecting to spend like 50 to 60 hours to get this going smoothly. The goal is to clear it in like 2-3 hours, in line with what a lot of other guilds do, which is going to be tough because a lot of other guilds on their first run, they took them 6 hours over 2 days, and I want to do it in like 2.5 or 3 if at all possible. I am a old Mythic Raider. I used to play vanilla. I am completely fine with the raid leading aspect of it. I know exactly how I want every boss done. I know every mechanic. I have done Molten Core so many times I could redesign it in my sleep. So if I can get the 40 people to show up that are competent and, prepared, the bosses will fall over. That is not the issue. The issue is almost entirely in getting the 40 people to show up. I have done things like this in the past, especially when you don't have a reputation. About half of the people that say that they were going to show up will not show up. So I'm figuring I'm going to have to send out about 500 whispers and advertisements to people to try and get actually 40 qualified ones to show up. The other thing is that they all need to be screened ahead of time. That takes a lot of time. You got to look at their gear. You got to talk to them just for a little bit, figure out what their experience level is at. That all has to be done in advance, like days before the raid, because you can't do that. It's just too chaotic right at raid time to try and work that all out. That stuff all has to be done in advance if the run is going to go smooth. Now, the good news, okay, so what we're doing, our guild needs to get off the ground. We don't have that many raiders yet, and unfortunately losing Janet was unfortunate, but she lives in England, so it wasn't going to work anyway. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a trade to try to get our new raiders in with some really hardcore raiders in other guilds that I have pretty good relationships with. Some of these guilds that have been running Molten Core full clears, since the first 3 weeks, the servers were up in August and September. All they really need is maybe their alts or something. They need that one valuable weapon, that cauterizing band, which there'll never be enough of. It's a healing ring. It's pretty good. The robe of ephemeral power, the ring of spell power, stuff like that. That just there's never going to be enough of them. Those people need those items. What we're doing is we're going to give them a chance to get those items while helping carry our guild to get, all of the other stuff that they've already had for months. So they benefit by getting the few valuable things and then paying gold for them, and then we benefit by getting the whole run off the world. I would like to run GDKP in the future for a long time, but I'm willing to negotiate on that. That's not that big a deal. And once we're established, once it's 40 members of the guild and no pugs, then we can do whatever we want with the loot rules. And then once we do have a quick and competent run, it's so much easier to apply to get people to join the guild. When you tell people, hey, we've got this run, we're knocking Molten Core out in 2 hours, people, then you start getting really good people that want to apply, and then that helps you raise your standards even more, which helps you clear even faster, which helps the standards go up higher, and it just it's a self-reinforcing feedback loop. If you can get off the ground, if you can put the work in, if you can show people you're competent. People have specifically asked what I need to do. I need people to send out the mail and the whispers. Unfortunately, you can only send about 15 whispers before the game locks you out. So that's going to be, or not whispers, but mail. I like to send the mail because it's got that personal touch. And I think it really it gives people more of an incentive to respond back in a positive manner. Whispers are obviously much faster, but they just kind of don't. I mean, nobody sends letters anymore, so when you do that, I think people take it like it's a special thing. We need to screen. We're going to have a huge range of skill in the players. I'm hoping to have tons of people who really know what they're doing, But we're going to have a couple guildies who are just getting into raiding probably. So we need to make sure that we know how good everyone is. And then the people that are new, we need to train them on how to, you know, just the basics of raiding and classic. Some of which are very complicated because, you know, even the basics of raiding as a Fury Warrior or something, you've got to learn about the combat hit table and glancing blows and stuff. I mean, it gets, even doing reasonable DPS takes some reading. So we need to train players. We need to have consumables. I have a lone wolf approach to most everything, but we need to have consumables available so that you don't have to hand them out, but I want them to be available for purchase, so we're at least prepared. And the better and the more skilled and geared the people we recruit are, the less consumables are required. People, you know, as long as people have gold, you know, GDKP thrives on people having a lot of gold and being able to bid on items that they need, and that just creates a more healthy environment. So the more gold people have, the better. I need people to help me do the invites right when the raid starts. That's the most chaotic time, and I need to train people how to do that. And then I need to line up like some of the Molten Core specific stuff, like tanks for Major Domo, tanks for Gar, trank shots for Mag. That stuff's pretty easy. If we've got 40 people, that'll come together. I want to try and give officers, that line at the bottom is what will officers get, which you can't really read. I don't know yet. I want to, if people do put in above and beyond for work, I want to give them something, but at the moment it's tough because if I offer them like extra gold or something, then people might not come to the run in the beginning, so it might just be out of the goodness of your heart to start. Although eventually that stuff can be repaid when you've got a solid guild, that stuff can definitely be repaid. Personally, I need to get my fire resist set done. I need to get the tutorial videos to teach people of each class, like what's expected of raiding, what debuff slots they're allowed to take, etc. And then I need to write out strats for each boss, and then get the angry assignments or the DBM going. And we need to come up with like the add-ons that are required. Like people have to have Classic Threat Meter 2, they have to have DBM, they've got to have, you know, I slowly want to get the healer's UI set up properly, but that'll probably take a little longer. It's just so much work to do. I'll keep trying to tell people what I need done and how they can do it.